Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again for another edition of the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 Season Mode playthrough with the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. This is going to be another fun one here. It is the Coyote Run 250 at the Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Another fantasy track, another fantasy short track on the season mode schedule, a part of our doubleheader Friday night action. Just coming in off a win at the Dodge Raceway, leading all 300 laps in that race, making history on the channel. First race I've ever done that on the NASCAR Chase for the Cup video game, leading every lap in the race from the pole as well. Just a dominating race, all things considered. We'll see if we can go 2 for 2 here tonight. Qualified second. In fact, pole sitter will be Jason Keller in the 22 car for this race, so it's going to be a little difficult even right out of the gate. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and we are going to get ready here for this one. R6, Kyle Larson fan, and Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream, and yeah, let's get into this. So off turn 3, Jason Keller will lead the field to the green. We're underway at Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Oh, Harvick, a little too wide there on the initial start. He had a little bit of a tight car in qualifying as well, but trying to hold this outside lane, not working well for him. And he kind of turned down into the car underneath him. Now he's in the wall. Look at all the spots Harvick has lost here from 2nd to 14th after lap 1. And he's still going backwards and cannot get to the bottom. Kyle Busch runs him a little wide. 4 wide off turn 2. Cody Holt was there. Boy, issues for Kevin Harvick here early. He just cannot get back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Might have had a chance behind the 117. He got into him as well. Finally gets to the bottom before getting into turn 1. Had to drop all the way back to 23rd before doing it. Now we got a car in the wall off turn 2. We do stay green. Harvick back to the inside of Kenny Wallace. Jason Keller out in the lead right now. Almost 3 wide into turn 2 there. Not going to make it 3 wide most of the way around this racetrack. I can tell you that right now. We'll contact a little bit of a stack up in turn 1 again. Man, another car up the track and in the wall. In turn 2, I think that was Ron Hornaday. Didn't have a great starting spot. But qualifying second was almost a mistake here for Harvick. Being on that outside lane, he couldn't get to the bottom until he fell back to 23rd. He had a little bit of a tight car as it was in qualifying, so trying to hold the outside lane. Tight race car on a tight short track like this. Just kind of figured it was going to be impossible. Already tough out of the gate, though, for Harvick if he's going to want a chance to get the sweep in the doubleheader tonight. Ooh. Contact. Harvick drives on. Back inside the top 20. Took him to lap 10, though. Hot car's getting tight in turn 2, I've noticed. A couple of them have gotten into the wall already. Harvick's going to go 3 wide. A little contact with David Green. Got to be careful. And Luke Casper gets by on the outside again on Harvick. Harvick just kind of let him go after he lost momentum with the contact in turn 1 with David Green. Like I mentioned, 3 wide on this racetrack really not going to work. Saw some contact all over the racetrack at Dodge Raceway earlier. You're going to see the same here in this one. You're already seeing a lot of it. We're only 14 laps in. That's a great turn 2 there for Harvick. Gets the run to the inside in turn 3 on Castleberry again. And he'll clear him off turn 3. Starting to roll the center of turn 3 a lot better as well. Oh, car up the racetrack, almost into the wall. David Green checked up, and Harvick got into the driver's side door of Green. He was not expecting those guys to check up when the 113 went up the track. Harvick goes up the track now in turn 3. David Green looks underneath him. Harvick with a block down low into turn 1. Holds on to 17th for right now. One of 6 car now out in the lead. Back into the back of the 117. Kyle Busch making contact up there as well. Harvick up the track. He almost got in the wall in turn 3, and the 117 crosses him back over. Clear into turn 1. Harvick getting pinched by that 117 car into turn 1. Look at how much he's making contact with Harvick. He's running him down so low. Now the 112 gets by on the outside in turn 2. Yeah, Harvick did not appreciate that. Couldn't run him any lower, and not only was running him that low, but Harvick tried to hold his line. He just literally drilled him. Got back past the 112 again. Tight off turn 2 again. He overran that corner. All these corners around this racetrack ideally are so easy to overrun. The 17 car going to make another pass. So is Kevin Harvick, it looks like, in turn 1. Set him up by getting underneath him off the exit of 3 to have that momentum to clear him high off turn 1. Harvick underneath the 117 into turn 2. Might not look like it, but it really is the tightest corner of the racetrack is turn 2. I think it's the tightest because of it being the sharpest and the flattest. Oh! A chain reaction game there after the contact Harvick gave to the 128. You're still caution free. Underneath the 163, Harvick's starting to move forward finally. Slowly but surely, still not back inside the top 10, but he's getting close. So is Kyle Busch in the 5, who didn't qualify very well for this one. Busch is in the 10th position, trying to pass Casey Atwood. Well, he might take it 3 wide into turn 1. That might not work out too well. It looks like Atwood got caught behind the 113, so Busch will make the pass on Atwood and the 113 car. Atwood blocks Harvick into turn 2, crosses over the 113 himself, trying to get back to 9th place. And does, clear off turn 3. Push up the track. We'll bump and run to the 157. I believe that was Sean Batson. Harvick clear in turn 2. Now he's back inside the top 10. Kyle Busch is on a serious move through the field. Casey Atwood took a peek. Terry Cook with a block on Harvick. Harvick back to the inside of Cook, though, off turn 3. He'll have the advantage with a half a car length ahead of him and on the inside into 1. Casey Atwood gets a little out of shape trying to pass J.J. Yaley for position. Harvick going to follow Atwood to get by Yaley. Through turn 3, and Casey Atwood's now up to 4th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. trying to block Kyle Busch at the front of the field. Not really going to be able to do it enough. Busch is up to 3rd. Atwood underneath Hamilton now. Harvick's going to follow Atwood to get by Bobby Hamilton Jr. You get stuck on the outside, you just start to go backwards, and that's exactly what happened to Harvick at the start. Was starting in 2nd. Everybody just kept getting underneath him. Harvick trying to get to the inside of Atwood. He did briefly, but Atwood got a little bit better drive off of turn 3 and held him off in turn 1. I'll tell you what, though, the fastest car in the field, I believe, is Kyle Busch in the 5. Harvick again to the inside of Atwood in turn 1. This time he clears him. Yep, the fantasy track doubleheader indeed, Patrick. Harvick giving Kyle Busch a little bit of a push. And now he's underneath Busch in turn 1. Oh, Harvick overran turn 2 by quite a bit. Busch gets back around him. He overdrove it trying to stay in front of him. We're going to be having lap traffic here very shortly as well. Can alternate through the different camera angles for the next few laps. Oh, Jason Keller with a little bump and run on the 106 car. Harvick, meanwhile, underneath Kyle Busch, clears him off of turn 2. Keller clear into 3, 106 looking for a crossover, but Keller blocks him. Looks like Casey Atwood's going to follow Harvick to get to 4th now. He's underneath Kyle Busch. 106 with the crossover into turn 2. Back to the lead. Couple of lead changes there. Keller might get back underneath him again. Oh no, Keller goes a little wide. Almost squeezes Harvick. He's really squeezing him. Harvick's going to give him the lane there. He didn't want to make any contact with Jason Keller. Let him go. Keller extremely deep to the inside into turn 1. He's going to get there. Harvick going to follow him as well. Oh, Harvick got into the 106. Keller back to the lead again. Starting on the pole, he's led a lot of laps early. Harvick still trying to lead us first after qualifying 2nd. Oh, well, contact. Atwood puts the bumper down to the 106 in turn 1. Keller trying to block Harvick. He's not going to make it easy on him. Goes a little wide there in turn 3. Harvick gets underneath him at the start-finish line this time. Keller leads the lap again. Harvick into turn 1. Clear caution. Who had the lead at the time of the yellow? Oh, big crash in turn 2. Massive pile up. Cars are all over the place. Ron Hornaday gets turned in front of oh my goodness, we have about 3 cars airborne. After Ron Hornaday couldn't get out of the way, he got turned. They pile in. Hornaday goes upside down. I believe Lewis got up on his right side. There were about 3 cars that went airborne. And a massive crash in turn 2. Might be getting some debris cautions after that one. Heavy impacts. Looked like Hornaday blew an engine and was just kind of coasting there. Or might have gotten into the wall or something. Had some heavy damage. How many laps are we going to run under caution here? Kind of curious. Kind of curious to see how many laps we run under yellow. We're going to stay out of the pits, though. There we go. Ran an extra lap under caution. Harvick did have the lead at the timing of the yellow, barely on Jason Keller. Green flag back in the air here at Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Massive crash on lap 49. Casey Atwood, the second on the restart, getting around Keller. Harvick just led his first green flag lap of race number 2. It's amazing how much better Harvick's car is handling in the clean air. And he has not had it all tonight until right now. He was battling tight conditions from the drop of the green flag, even in qualifying as well. So we had a big crash there. No debris cautions, at least the first couple laps after the yellow. All right, let's let it play out. Casey Atwood might be looking for his first lead of the night. Harvick pulled him a little bit in turn 2. Harvick's got the clean air, so the handling in his car is going to be pretty good. Right as I said that, I ran a tad wide off turn 3. Atwood definitely closed in because of it, but not enough to make a move yet. Harvick ran good through turn 3 that time. Atwood with a little bit better corner exit there off turn 3. It's a 2-car breakaway between Kevin Harvick and Casey Atwood right now. Atwood went a little wide off of turn 1 and turn 2. So easy to get out of rhythm with how different all 3 of these corners are, and with it being such a short racetrack, it can take you a couple laps after missing a corner to really start to get in a consistent rhythm again. Atwood slipped away there for a little bit. Still not really within striking distance of Kevin Harvick either. Harvick might be the guy to beat when he has the clean air. But if he gets put back in traffic, Kyle Busch looked really fast up until that caution. Atwood almost got to the inside of Harvick. He's there now into turn 3. Oh! Harvick tried to drop in line behind him. He made contact with Atwood, caused him to have a little bit wider arc into turn 3, and he just completely whiffed in turn 3. Casey Atwood out in front for the first time here tonight at the Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Harvick closes in quickly though. And he gets back underneath him off turn 2. A little more contact. Oh, jeez. Harvick's just too tight in traffic. It is crazy how consistent he was running when he was out in front with the clean air. Now that he's even in second place trying to get around Atwood, he gets underneath him and he just can't keep the car pinned to the bottom. Big dive in turn 2. Might have overdrove the corner just a bit. All over Atwood again. Now he crosses underneath him. Atwood trying to side draft. Pinches Harvick down into turn 3. Harvick trying to side draft him back up the track now. A little contact. A little donut on the side of the 14. Good little battle for the lead. Harvick's got it back. And now Harvick overdrives turn 2. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. Atwood back out in front again. Harvick never officially took the lead there. Oh, Harvick slid into 3. Couldn't make the pass there either. Track is just so difficult. Harvick again underneath Atwood, side by side for the race lead. In turn 2, they made it. Now into 3. Harvick with the advantage. Slides into the corner. Up the track he goes. And Atwood fends him off again with another crossover. Now Atwood goes up the track in 1, and Harvick's right back again. And again into turn 2, he gets underneath him. Third time now in turn 3. Harvick is underneath. He clears high. No crosser from Atwood this time, and Harvick finally regains the lead. Even if we didn't have one caution day, it's looking like, by the way, it should be a 1 pit stop race tonight. Harvick just hit halfway on fuel. It should be a 1 pit stop race. Nobody pitted during that first caution, unless maybe some of the drivers that were involved in that accident might have pitted. I wouldn't blame them. Just tuning in for the first time in race number 2 of our doubleheader tonight at Levi Straus Signature Speedway. We had a very, very bad accident on turn 2. Now we got more trouble in turn 2. Oh, they're stacking up again. Mike Bliss got ran into from behind by the 152 car, and that was how the Hornaday accident happened as well, where he was in turn 2. He got turned. We saw 3 cars go airborne, piling into the back of one another. Nobody could check up, and we just had a parking lot in turn 2. It's in the middle of the pack. There at the back of the pack, Bliss was trying to get to pit road and get out of the way. There really isn't an apron here with the inside wall most of the way around the track. That one checked up. Harvick holds on to the lead, and now pretty much everybody else is right there. The back bumper of the top 2 all of a sudden because of that. I know we're still early in this race because we're not even 100 laps in, but I think we've seen more carnage in the first 85 laps of this one than what we saw the entire Dodge Raceway race. Now, as far as cautions go, we've had one today. In race 2, we had 2 in the entirety of race 1, so we haven't quite gotten the cautions, but it's definitely been wild from the get-go. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Harvick's out to his biggest lead of the race now, 1 second, about 1.1 seconds. Back to Casey Atwood in second. They caught one lap car so far, that was it. And then there was a little bit of a gap before Billy Parker, who would be the next to last driver on the lead lap. Well, I guess currently he's the last driver on the lead lap. .49 on Wednesday. There you go. You said that was a par 35 for 9 holes? Or is it 36? Now Harvick's getting into some pretty heavy lap traffic. The Hammock 119 car might have crowded Harvick a little bit. So he's going to let Harvick go now in turn 3. Harvick gets underneath him. And finally, Harvick makes the pass. 36 for 9. Gotcha. There's a course not too far from where I live it's a par 72 for 18 holes, but it's 37 on the front 9 because there's only one par 3, but still 2 par 5s. And the par 3 is like 220 yards. Like it's just like ridiculous from the tips at least, and it's like just ridiculously long. Like the front 9's so long, and then the back 9's par 35. That makes the 72. There's only one par 5 on the back and 2 par 3s. And the back 9 in general is a lot shorter than the front 9. It's a lot more narrow though too. It's like wide open and long on the front, and then it's just like super short, but a bunch of dog legs, and it's just super tight. A lot of trees on the back 9. I haven't played there yet this year. It's a nice course. I usually try to play there a couple times a year. I'll have to get out there. Already only got like a month and a half left of golf around here already. About middle of October, late October, and it starts to get to about 40, 50 degrees again. It just doesn't... I mean, it's been super hot this week, so... Oh my goodness, 3 wide. Harvick stuck in the middle, makes a little bit of contact with Shane Kirkland. And makes contact with him again in turn 1. Harvick's definitely struggling in the lap traffic right now. Clear Kirkland off turn 3. Lead cut down to 0.4 of a second, just over 100 laps complete. I thought Harvick was going to end up in the wall off turn 1 there. He barely kept it off. Car was tight before in traffic. Now that the tires are over 100 laps old, it's just pushing more and more and more. You know, the right sides are in the yellow. At least the right front is. I didn't see if the right rear was or not. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Can't wait to go to Indy tomorrow. I'm pumped. Get to see my first ever IndyCar race. Be vlogging the trip again. So hopefully you guys have a good time watching both the Xfinity and the IndyCar races tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll just have to wait and see. Our first taker's on the pit road at lap 107. Very, very early. I guess the window to make it to the end is open. We got a lot of drivers coming in now. Just making their way off. Now we got more drivers coming on into the pits. Got a caution just as green flag pit stops are starting in the first race tonight at Dodge Raceway. A quarter of a tank of fuel left for Harvick. He doesn't plan on short pitting at all here. He didn't have to make a green flag pit stop at Dodge Raceway. He's going to hope that that's going to be the case here. This track as well. It's not the pit road entry that scares him, it's the pit road exit. Trying to get back on the track if cars are trying to make it on, just like at Dodge Raceway. There's a little bit more clearance here compared to at Dodge Raceway, though. The difference is that there isn't much of an apron at all here at this track either, though. At least with it being on the outside, you can go way up out of the groove high and out of the way. You can't really do that when the inside's the preferred lane all the way around this track for each and every one of these 3 turns. Especially turn 2, where we saw that big pile up already. That wasn't even in the middle of green flag stops. It could be worse if we were in the middle of green flag stops. It's going to be even more congested. Harvick just over a 2-second race lead. Bunch of lap cars going up high. Harvick was tight all the way through that corner. They're giving him a lot of space. That time he gripped up well. Grips up pretty decently in turn 2. Well, no, spoke too soon on that one. That one looked pretty bad too. It's like the second or third time we've gotten in the wall pretty hard in turn 2. Not hard enough to kill the car by any means, but it looks a lot more violent than what it probably actually is. Oh, it wasn't like that. Was that Westbury? One of the lap cars hit the wall hard in turn 3. There's some smoke coming out of the back of the car there initially. Still running though. We stay green. Looked like he had a tire go down the way it went up the track. know down in the chat if you guys saw that out of the rearview mirror. It was a pretty hard lick. Now the right rear's in the yellow. Oh my gosh, the car didn't turn. Harvick again is in the wall in 2, and now they're 3 wide underneath, and he's in the wall in 3, and he's going to lose the lead to J.J. Yaley. Yaley out in front for the first time tonight, and that 2-second lead gone like that. Tires are gone on Harvick's car as well. Almost took it 3 wide. He backed out of it. Not here at this place. Underneath Yaley, side by side for the lead. He's trying to pick him behind the lap car, and it looks like he will. Now we'll see if Harvick can get by Drew Campbell. Clear off 3. Clears Campbell. He's still clear of J.J. Yaley, and Harvick again leading here at Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Seven par 4s and oh, in a row. And a par 3, par 5. Yeah, that's pretty weird too. We got a new battle for the lead here. We got Harvick and Yaley battling towards the front right now. Seen some cars hit pit road. Maybe about half the field. Maybe a little less than half the field has hit the pits. A lot of these guys maybe not wanting to short pit as well. Some of them were willing to take the risk. Going to be halfway home this time by. 125 laps down. Still another 125 to go. Alternate through the different camera angles for the next few laps now. I'll tell you what, Kevin Harvick can't wait to get 4 fresh tires back on this car again. And he's going to loosen it up a little bit too. He is way too tight. Wasn't bad when he had the clean air, and then getting into lap traffic, and now that the tires are getting even older, it's just making it worse. Widened out about a half a second lead again on Yaley for now. A little bit of damage to be fixed on the right side as well. Banged it up a decent amount. I wonder where Jason Keller's at, or if he might have short pitted already. I haven't seen him in a while. He led a lot of laps early on before the first caution. Seems like Casey Atwood's kind of dropped back too. He's led some laps just after the restart. Battling back and forth with Harvick there for a little bit, then Harvick pulled out to just over 2-second lead, and then Yaley ran him down. Now Harvick's slipping away from Yaley again, and maybe Yaley used his stuff up trying to get to Harvick. Both rears starting to wear. Still waiting on that left front to get down into the yellow. Surprised that's the last tire to go. Surprised the rear tires are getting as worn out as they are, considering how tight the 21 car is, too. It's not like he's loose at all. Not by any means. Oh, Harvick tight in the wall. Got sandwiched with Cody Holt there as well. He had about a 1-second lead again. Now it's down to 0.4 of a second as he tries to get this momentum back. And at least he hasn't pitted yet for the sake he can still repair this damage. Problem is it's going to make the pit stop even longer every little bit of damage he does have to repair. And it has allowed J.J. Yaley to pull to the back bumper now of Kevin Harvick. Big dive into turn one there for Yaley. I think he's coming into the pits this time. And yes, he is. So J.J. Yaley will make the huge left turn onto pit road into turn three. Tank almost empty. There goes the left front. Almost even starting to wonder if it was going to get into the yellow before the end of this run. Contact with some lap cars. Oh no, big checkup. More contact in the front of Harvick's race car. He got into the back of Russell Hughes. 128 car is trying to come out of the pits. And Hughes checked up right in front of the race leader. J.J. Yaley coming out of the pits now. He might be battling Harvick for the lead, but he goes up the track a little bit, and Harvick's going to clear him off turn three. Lap 140. Harvick going to go one more lap. He'll pit at lap 141. Try to fend off Yaley here for another lap and a half, and make his way to pit road. So lap 141 will be the green flag stop for Harvick. He'll have 109 laps to go on the back end after coming out of the pits. They need a quick stop for this 21 crew. Looks like Russell Hughes coming down at the same time as well. Easily gets down there. Wedge adjustment as well for Harvick. They're going to take a half around the wedge out of the race car to try and help loosen it up just a tad. So minor adjustments for the 21 car. Just a little on the snug side. Now they need to hope it stays green. It's probably one of the last cars that still had to pit. He's got quite a bit of damage. That was a hard hit on the back of Hughes a couple laps before coming into the pits as well. Hughes probably has some damage to the back of his race car. I'd be lying if I said this car didn't look a little gaudy because of the damage. Dwayne Borland is the race leader. Harvick's going to cycle in fourth place. You know, J.J. Yaley's in front of him. Dwayne Borland is in the lead right now, and I wonder if he might have pitted during the first caution. Won't be able to make it on field to the end because it's going to be just under a 200 lap run to the finish if it did stay green to the finish. Definitely can't go that far on field. Even with the caution, Harvick only made it to lap 142. So just wondering when Dwayne Borland will pit. Can he trap these guys maybe a lap down or so? There's a ton of lap traffic coming up in front of Yaley and Kyle Busch. Borland's in the middle of it too. And he's on extremely old tires. And now Borland comes into the pits. I'm surprised he was able to make it that far on fuel. It's insane. Well, he got 5 bonus points for at least leading the lap. So good on him. Got a handful of laps there. And Busch really pinched off Harvick. They might be battling for position. And they are battling for position. J.J. Yaley, the new leader. Kyle Busch underneath, 3 wide. What a move by Kyle Busch. 3 wide at Levi Straus. The lap car on the outside. Pinned Yaley in the middle, and Kyle Busch gets to the lead. For the first time tonight, 5 bonus points for him. He looked like he could have had the fastest car in the field early on. Borland coming out of the pits. Everybody kind of merging up and stacking up as well in front of Kyle Busch. Yaley gets a little loose off turn 3. Oh! Harvick got into the back of him into 1. Oh, Harvick Cleared him a little too quickly there in turn 2. Right back into him. 100 laps to go here at Levi Straus Signature Speedway. Kyle Busch leads. Harvick up to second now, just past Yaley. Yaley in third. All three have led laps today. Everybody's good on fuel to the end of the race. Nobody else has to pit. Definitely a fun game, Michael. Definitely a fun one. Pushed a little wide in turn 3. Left the door open. Harvick trying to capitalize. He is underneath Kyle. Through turn 1 cleared. Evan Harvick back to the lead. Kyle Busch has a really fast race car, though. Don't count him out. Look at all this lap traffic. Harvick's still got to get around as well. They're stacking up with a bunch of contact, too. Not stacking up the leaders yet, at least. Harvick made an adjustment on pit road. We'll see if that'll help him in the dirtier air and on the longer run to not get tight. It's going to get worse as the run goes on anyway. But right now, while he's on the short run, he's got to capitalize with it. Try to get away from Busch and put some separation between the top two. Good exit to turn 1 there for Kyle Busch. Harvick shut the door on him in 2. Busch keeping the pressure on into turn 3. He keeps that pressure on. I don't think Harvick's going to be able to hold on to the lead the rest of this race. There's too many laps left. Both cars go up the track at turn 1. Busch more in the center of the corner, though, and now Yaley gets underneath him for second, it looks like. Actually, no, it's not Yaley. I think that was Ashton Lewis, the lap car. Busch stuck on the outside. He's going to lose some ground. Giving Harvick about a half a second lead. That's the separation the 21 needed. And believe it or not, I think there is a good chance Harvick can actually lead the most laps today, assuming he leads the majority of them to the finish. Just trying to battle back through the lap cars once again. Hopefully close back in on Harvick and put the pressure back on in these closing 90 laps. So we have raced at all the fantasy ovals in this game across the modified, the truck series, and now into the Busch series. I want to know what your guys' favorite fantasy tracks are in general, even oval or road course, in any of the NASCAR EA Sports video games. Some of them change. I know in the Thunder 04 video game I've got some of those road courses aren't on this game, and then there are a couple new ones as well. They're on this that weren't on Thunder 04, so gained some, lost some. Well, far better than Heat 5. I like how, it comes up in the chat from somebody different, every time that this... yeah, this is better than Heat 5. I agree, though. I agree. Just, always bashing it, even if we're not playing it. Kyle Busch clawing right back. Steve Calloway going to let Kevin Harvick go. Harvick clears him cleanly in turn 3. Now Busch has to get around Calloway, and he's kind of a little wider than what he wanted to in turn 1. He still gets underneath him, though. He kind of ran more of that middle groove rather than the bottom near the apron in the apex of the corner. Swept around the corner rather than trying to cut it off. Fantasy road course on this game. Which one in particular? What's your favorite? Dodge Raceway is probably my favorite oval, but yeah, a lot of good road courses. Busch way up the hill in turn 2. Can't tell if it was J.J. Aley who passed him again that time. Kyle Busch going to cross him over the 3 wide, almost off the exit of 3. My goodness. Kyle Busch is battling hard back there with the lap cars, and he's now about 0.8 of a second off the lead. Harvick struggled in the first run. It looks like Busch is struggling more than Harvick in run number 2. Three wide with the lap traffic through turn 1. They made it there. Old Spice. That's definitely a classic. That's the only one we've raced so far. A lot of the fantasy track road courses are only available for the Cup Series in these games, but Old Spice Speedway is available for all of them. So we've actually ran there twice in the modifieds, once in the trucks, and once in the Busch Series already. We might go there a second time in the Busch Series. I can't remember if we do or not. 75 laps to go. Harvick has just clinched the most laps led that time at the start-finish line as well. So it'll be another 10 bonus point race for Harvick. He's had a lot of those this season. I don't think there's really one I don't like of the ovals. They're all unique, so it's not like one's similar to the other. Probably the idea of it, but really there aren't that many ovals though either of the fantasy tracks. Most of them are road courses. Kyle Busch has rallied again. Gained some ground, then he loses some in the lap traffic. Well, the lap car's got the wall off turn 2. Made it an easy pass for Kyle Busch. Easier than what it took for Harvick to get around one of those guys. Kyle Busch is right there. He's putting a lot of pressure on Harvick again. Middle of the run, where Kyle Busch seems to be at his best. And he has the clean air, which not really going to have any clean air the rest of this race unless we get a caution. And restart. Oh, somebody got the wall off turn 2. Last lap, we do stay green though. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick want this to play green to the end. They want it to be a one-on-one battle. Who can get through the lap traffic better? They don't want anybody else to have a shot at it. Harvick caught Tim Fedewa pretty badly off turn 2. Had to lift. Clears him off 3. Fedewa gave Harvick a lot of room to get around him. Same for Kyle Busch. Catches Sean Batson in a similar spot as well. Not only in turn 2, but turn 3. Both corners. He struggled a little bit to get by Batson compared to Feedable. Manny Brown going way up high. He makes an easy pathway for Harvick to pull up clear. Harvick definitely a lot smoother, I feel like, in this run. In the first run and getting through the lap traffic. But the crazy thing is Kyle Busch is the one putting pressure on him in this run. I wish J.J. Yeley towards the end of that first run. I'd imagine Yeley's at least still in the top 5. He actually cycled as the race leader, but lost his spot to Kyle Busch, and then Harvick. And he's just not able to keep up with both of them. He just overdrove turn 3 pretty badly that time, and Kyle Busch is going to get under him and get to the lead. Oh, 3 wide into 1 with the lap cars behind the leaders. They simultaneously made contact, but they made it through the corner. Harvick trying to get back underneath Busch. Almost did in turn 3. Contact with the 108 now. That might have been the opening for Kyle Busch. A track that's just so difficult to pass. Now it's Harvick's turn to try and get around Kyle. He drives it deep into turn 3. He's underneath him. Clear off turn 3. Harvick with a power move. Back to the lead again. Slim the tires a little bit, getting into 1. Didn't really hurt him so much in 1. It actually seemed like it hurt him more in turn 2 because of it. A little wider than what he wanted to, getting into the corner, and he couldn't get the car pinned down in the center. Now he's going to have to fend off Kyle Busch again. Still 56 laps of racing to go. Oh, about 17-second lap times. Again, these laps are going to fly by. About 5 seconds slower the lap times here compared to Dodge Raceway, though this race hence is 50 laps shorter. Still should be a little bit longer in race length, lapse time, than what that race was earlier today. That race was only 1 hour and 9 minutes, so that's why we are running the doubleheader. Figured that was going to be a short race. No other track you could run 300 laps in 1 hour and 9 minutes. And that was with 2 cautions. If we went caution free, it might have been very close to an hour race length. This one we've only had 1 caution. Kyle Busch extremely close behind Harvick into 3. Harvick gets a little loose getting into the corner. Oh, Busch went way up the track and barely kept it off the wall. And Harvick pulls him a little bit again. That's some Reese's ice cream for my cheat day on my birthday. I didn't even realize that. I was accidentally supporting our sponsor for the NASCAR Chase for the Cup Busch Series. There we go. Busch got out of shape in turn 3. Fell just over 1 second off the lead. We'll see if he can run Harvick back down again. He's got enough time to do it. Harvick's going to have a little bit before he catches the next lap car, but he'll probably catch him in less than 10 laps. 10 laps at the very most. I do think Busch has a faster car than Kevin Harvick, though. No lap cars in between the top two either, and Busch is just slowly running him down. He's not that much faster than Harvick. They both have fast race cars. Harvick's got the lead. He seems like he's a little bit better, especially if there's no lap cars in front of him. But if he doesn't have the lead, that car is very, very tight. Or if he's just stuck in heavy lap traffic, we've seen him get in the wall a couple times while leading even. 3 wide through 1, 3 wide into 2 up there. Lap cars made it through the corner. There's still 3 wide into 3. My goodness, 3 by 3, in fact. These lap cars are going crazy. Not too far ahead of the race leader. About a second ahead of him, probably. Second and a half. Harvick way up the track, mistake in the wall in 3, and just like that, that's the opening Kyle Busch needed to really close in at a rapid pace. So easy for it to happen as these tires wear out. Harvick, even with the adjustment, it was a very minor adjustment. I was almost scared to mess with the car too much. I mean, he did have the lead at the start of the green flag stops. Obviously, he's got the lead now. It's just still a little tight, though. I don't think we make a second trip back to this track for the Busch Series. Well, I guess we will for the custom schedule season. I have to remember whatever the setup is at the end of this race to loosen it up. The 78 car moves Cody Holt up the racetrack in the 56. Get underneath them side by side. $40 to go. It's the Harvick and Kyle Busch show once again in the Busch Series. Seen that a lot over the middle portion of the season. Pretty much since California. These two have competed for wins race in and race out. More often than not, it's Harvick coming up on the upper hand. Not 100% of the time. Actually, Kenseth's got a couple wins in that stretch as well. Harvick made a 3-wide pass for the lead, pitching J.J. Yaley in the middle with a lap car on the outside, and I thought Harvick might have been the guy in the middle that time. Busch is just charging hard through turn 1. Oh, Busch way up the track. He got tight in turn 2. The lap car is going to cross him over. That'll buy Harvick some time. Smithfield CEO, welcome to the stream. $35 more laps for Happy Harvick. Oh, Harvick up the track in the wall in 2. Crosses over Luke Nixon in the 63. Harvick had just over a 1 second lead. He lost about 0.2 of a second that last lap to Busch. Got some fast lap cars up here. Jason Keller being one of which, who qualified on the pole and led some laps early. a decent amount of laps early. In fact, we know he'll be a tough pass. Terry Cook, David Green up here as well. And a 113 car. It'll be that 4-car group. Most of the lap cars, for the most part, have given leeway to Harvick. Yeah, my Packers play tomorrow night, I think. Their first preseason game. I'll be at the racetrack. I don't think it's on NFL Network either, so I probably won't be able to watch it live at least. We got underneath David Green. He couldn't complete the pass. Now he completes it off turn 3. Tiny Buchanan in the 113 car on his outside. Being held up a little bit by him now. He'll clear Buchanan off turn 1, and the lead's cut down to 0.7 of a second. Jason Keller thought about taking it 3 wide up ahead. That's by Shane Kirkland. He's been trying to get around the 10 car of Terry Cook for quite some time. Wow, Harvick way up the track in the wall and into Kirkland. Oh, Busch gets weeded out of the way. He was 3 wide middle going into 1, and the lap car got into him. Boy, lap traffic hindering both the 21 and the 5 now. .25 to go. This time by. Busch is charged back again, putting the pressure on Kevin Harvick. We get later into this race, will we see Kyle Busch use the bumper? In the EA sports games, these drivers get very aggressive, especially late. Busch got a good run there. Harvick going to try to block him into turn 1. Busch trying to undercut the corner. He might get underneath Harvick into turn 2. Harvick trying to block as much as he can. Harvick slides a little bit into turn 3. Kyle Busch hanging on. Busch actually got a little loose trying to pick up the throttle. Cheap display of the Niners. Most of the games this week are on Saturday, but they had a few of them last night and a few of them today, too. I think they only got one game on Sunday. Harvick got a little loose off 3 that time. He hasn't really been loose all day, so that was a little weird. He overran turn 3, but so did Busch. Harvick overran it on the bottom. Busch just pushed up the track. And I think that's Bobby Hamilton Jr. in 3rd place. Where did he come from? Bobby Hamilton's got a shot all of a sudden. I didn't think the leaders were that far off the pace. Maybe Hamilton has just found something in his race car here extremely late that Busch and Harvick are struggling to find. 19 laps to go. The 3 guys battling for the points lead or battling for the race win. In the final 20 laps here at the Levi Straus Signature Speedway, Harvick still hasn't quite caught Terry Cook and Jason Keller yet. You know those are going to be some tough passes. A few more lap cars in front of them as well. Honestly, there's a pretty decent amount of lap traffic. I think Keller got into Terry Cook in turn 2. Stacked them up, allows Harvick to get underneath Cook. Keller gets out of the way off turn 3. Harvick thought he had him cleared. He cleared him too early and got into him. Harvick still has the lead, about 0.6 of a second. Keller's going to cross Harvick over, though, into turn 3. Harvick on the outside. Keller gets back around him. We mentioned Jason Keller was going to be a tough out. And he is. He's holding up the race leader, Kevin Harvick. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Oh, Harvick into Keller, and he gets hooked on him. Couldn't get off of him. 15 to go. 3 wide lap traffic up there. My goodness. Oh, they almost wrecked in turn 2. They all kind of went wide. Nobody got squeezed into the fence, luckily. Bobby Hamilton Jr. still keeping the pressure on. He's right there in third place. I don't even think he's led a lap in this one. I seriously have no clue where he came from. I didn't even realize he was in the top 5. Oh, Busch gets sideways in 2. And Hamilton's up to second. Where did this 25 car come from? He has found something. Again, that these leaders have not. And he might be the fastest car on the track. Lap traffic is putting a struggle on the 5 and the 21. Busch almost got back underneath Hamilton as he missed turn 3. Almost kind of missed turn 1 as well. Everybody's sliding around on old tires. Hamilton does fend Kyle Busch off for second, 11 to go. The lap cars got into one another off the exit of 2 after Harvick passed him. Makes for an easy pass for Hamilton and Kyle Busch back there. 10 to go as they try to keep up with Harvick. Harvick a little wide in 1. At least he kept it off the wall. This lap traffic is not going to get any easier for Kevin Harvick. Look at this huge group of cars. There's about 8 cars running 2 by 2. 8 to go. Oh, there's a little contact. Now they're 3 wide up there. Are they going to make it through turn 2? Oh, they did, barely. Harvick's got about a 6/10 of a second lead. And he's got to be telling his spotter to say, hey, get these guys out of the way. Oh, this is terrible for the 21. Putting him in that dirty air. He's super tight right now. Tight in turn 2 again. It's super tight all day in heavy traffic. 6 to go, and Hamilton still lap car between the top 2. They're 2 and 3 wide up here. Harvick is going to have no chance to get around these guys. We'll slip up in turn 2. Harvick having a hard time trying to keep the car on the bottom. Now Hamilton goes wide in 3, but he keeps it off the wall. He's still in it. 5 to go. Harvick going a little wide in 1. He almost got into the lap car. Hamilton charges back. Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the lead. Harvick had to keep it off the wall in 2, and now Busch is up to second. Bobby Hamilton has just led his first lap of the race, and we only have 4 to go, but now he's got to get through the lap cars. Harvick into the side of Busch. A little bump and run to get around him for second. Oh, no, they tangled in turn 2. And Harvick got into the wall. This is what Hamilton needs to see. But Hamilton is struggling in the lap traffic. Harvick can't get by anybody right now. His car is just gone. He's got next to nothing left. 2 laps to go. 2 more lap cars in front of Hamilton. Harvick trying to charge late. He's got the run into 3. They're coming to the white flag. Harvick has dominated and led probably up near 200 laps in this one. Hamilton trying to shut the door in 1. He does. Harvick is all over him into turn 2. Harvick a little tight though. Pressure off into 3. Lap cars in the way. Hamilton going to go up the racetrack. They're going to be 3 wide to the line at the finish. And Bobby Hamilton Jr. is going to win by inches over Kevin Harvick. The lap car almost held up Hamilton enough. And by 3/100ths of a second, it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. getting the win. Harvick and Busch's car just went away there in those final, really 40 to 50 laps, and Hamilton just came from nowhere, leading just the final 4 or 5 laps to win the race. By 34 one-thousandths of a second. Harvick almost got him back there in turn 3. They were actually 3 wide. I don't know how they stayed off one another off of turn 3 on that final lap in the final corner, but Hamilton just had enough room to hold on to win this one. 7 cars finished on the lead lap. 1 caution per incident today. Surprised we didn't have more than that. I thought we were going to have some debris cautions. We had a bad accident back on lap 49 where we saw like 3 cars go airborne in turn 2. After Hornaday had blown an engine and couldn't get off the track, he got turned in front of traffic, and they just stacked up parking lot style, like Martinsville earlier this season in the Cup Series. Bobby Hamilton Jr. holds on to win. That's just another incredible finish with this game. He came out of, Harvick's car was way too tight at the end of the run when he caught that heavy lap traffic. And Hamilton was kind of struggling with it too, but not as much as what Busch and Harvick were. The contact Harvick and Busch made with about 4 to go helped Hamilton widen out that lead just enough that he didn't have to pass those last 2 lap cars. He barely held on. Had those 3 caution laps, 18 lead changes today in race number 2. Race 2, 250 laps on this track. Only took an hour and 16 minutes with the 1 caution even. An hour and 9 minutes in the first race today, so the doubleheader combined, I think, took less than 2.5 hours. There we go. Look at that, 175 laps led for Harvick today. Just the final 5 laps led for Bobby Hamilton, stealing the win. Kyle Busch finishes 3rd, he led 9. Casey Atwood led 9 laps, finishing in 4th. David Strebe rounds out the top 5. J.J. Yaley fell back to 6th there at the end of the race. Wally Renshaw finishes 7th. Jason Keller, who started on the pole, finished 8th. First car lap down. Terry Cook 9th, and rounding out the top 10 was Hermie Sandler with a quiet but good day. See who all DNF'd. Hornaday was somehow the only one that DNF'd in that big accident earlier, although he was one of the cars that went upside down. But Mike Bliss also DNF'd, engine failure. That's right, because who was that? I think it was Casey Atwood ran into the back of him, or about ran into the back of him at the time. No, it was Russell Hughes. That's right, Russell Hughes, one of the lap car that was running in front of us. When Mike Bliss blew the engine, he got into the back of him. We just kind of flew right around both of them, luckily on the outside. That could have been another incident like Hornaday's. Only that one we would have been in the center of. So those are the only 2 drivers at DNF in this one. Quite surprised. We're going to take a look at the point standings here. After the next race at Milwaukee, we're going to be halfway through the season. 250 laps around the Milwaukee Mile with the Alan Kulwicki 250. Milwaukee Mile was an actual track on the NASCAR circuit at this time period in NASCAR for the Busch and the Truck Series. So it's not a fantasy track, but it's cool to race at an old track that is no longer on the schedule. I believe they still host races. It's not Vankin. It's just they don't host any NASCAR races. I think ARCA was there a couple of years ago or something, if I'm not mistaken. IndyCar needs to go back there, too. They put on some good shows at Milwaukee. They need more ovals. That would be a good one. Kyle Busch leads the points by 23 over Kevin Harvick. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is third in points, and he's only 55 back. Hornaday, even after DNF, is 167 back and forth. If he didn't DNF, he'd be right there up with the top 3 as well. David Strebe, 178 back, so top 5 all within 190 points, which is the most he could score in a single race still. So next 2 races, Milwaukee and Daytona. I'll bring the PS2 with me. Maybe we'll stream tomorrow night if we have time. If not, next stream will be on Sunday night, and it will probably be NASCAR Heat 5, but it'll be the custom championship, custom schedule season, and it will be a 50% race at New Hampshire if we do end up running that race. So, yep, I will enjoy the IndyCar race tomorrow at the track in the Xfinity Series race. Probably get to the track about 11 in the morning or so. Eastern Standard Time will give me about an hour and a half before the start of the IndyCar race. So make sure I get my earplugs and whatever else. Walk around and get to see the track. First time I've been there in a few years. So like, share, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Vlogs coming on the way, of course. I'll be vlogging the trip again this weekend. So thanks everybody for your support and enjoy the racing action if I don't see you until Sunday.